إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد.
We have an issue here. Can you say I rely on Tawakkaltu ala Allah wa alayk? That's not permissible. I depend on Allah and you. That's minor shirk. Because Allah said, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. Don't set up rivals to Allah while you know. You don't say, I depend on Allah and you. And it's authentic from the account of Ibn Abbas that he used to consider لَوْلَ اللَّهِ وَفُلَانٍ أَنَّهَا مِنَ الشِّرْكِ. Ibn Abbas considered the statement, had it not been for Allah and so, it's shirk. He considered that statements like that shirk. Had it not been for Allah and so, it's shirk. The Salaf considered, A'udhu billah wa bik. I seek refuge in Allah and you. I seek refuge in Allah and you. That's shirk. And that's similar to our statement here, I depend on Allah and you. That's very similar to that. That should be avoided. That's minor shirk. How about terms like Tawakkaltu alayk, or Muttakil alayk, or Mutawakkil ala Allah thumma alaykum. I rely on you. I depend on you. Or whatever you choose for the translation of the word tawakkul. This is different from the previous scenario in that, first of all, you're not combining them to Allah. You're saying, or you're saying thumma, meaning and then. Some of the ulama allowed it. They said it's like giving authority or appointing someone to do something. That like we took in form number 4 of tawakkul. So they said it's permissible. Others said it's not permissible, and that's possibly closer to being the more correct of the opinions, because Allah said, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا. And put your tawakkul on Allah. So we should keep it pure. We should do our best to keep it pure and refrain from using those. And there's a hadith in Musnad Ahmad, إِنَّكَ إِن تَكَلْنِي إِلَى نَفْسِي تَكَلْنِي إِلَى خَطِيئَةٍ وَعَوْرَةٍ وَذَنْبٍ. The Prophet ﷺ said in a dua, if you leave me to rely on myself, I will be in error, shame and sin. So if he said that about himself, why would we use that term about anyone else? Hadith Abi Bakr, قال رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم في دعوات المكروب اللهم رحمتك أرجو فلا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة عين وأصلح لي شأني كله لا إله إلا أنت. The hadith, the dua of the distress that's in Sunan Abi Dawood and Ibn Hibban. Yes, Abi Dawood and Ibn Hibban. The dua, the Prophet ﷺ said, Oh Allah, I seek your mercy. Don't let me rely on myself, not even for a glimpse. So if the Prophet refused to say that, tawakkul about himself, we shouldn't say it about anyone else. I believe tawakkul, in whatever term we use in English translation of it, it's not proper to attribute it to any creation, and you should only use them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we teach that to ourselves and our kids, we will raise our tongues and our hearts and our children on the pure tawheed that we want. You can, however, say statements like, I rely on Allah and I appoint you or I delegate you. Different statements that are different from tawakkul. Some use the hadith of Sahl ibn Sa'd al-Sa'idi to say it's permissible to use tawakkul in other contexts other than Allah. من توكل لي ما بين رجلي وما بين لحيي توكلت له بالجنة. The hadith is in Sahih Bukhari. The hadith uses the word tawakkul of guarded. Instead of guarding, he used tawakkul what's between his lips and what's between his legs. And then he will get Jannah if he protects and guards that. But the word term used is tawakkul. In Arabic, the Prophet ﷺ used tawakkul as guard. But it's not used in the context of reliance or anywhere close to that. Tawakkul in this hadith comes to mean guarded or protected. It doesn't come to mean anywhere or anything about reliance. And nothing to do with our topic. So it's not proof for using tawakkul for creation. That's the more proper way of using the terms, is leaving matters of tawakkul the terms of tawakkul only to Allah.
What about saying or having confidence in oneself? If you say I have confidence in myself or believe it, does that relate to tawakkul? To have confidence in yourself, as in tawakkul, it's not permissible, because it's just because it's yourself, that's reliance on means, and it's no different than having tawakkul on others. So that's minor shirk. But if you mean by confidence in yourself that you're good at something, you don't mean tawakkul, you mean I'm good at something, I tried it before, I've done it over and over and it's easy for me and I learned it very well. In that context, there's nothing wrong with having confidence or saying I have confidence in myself. Now another issue, what about referring to someone as being reliable? You say he's reliable in that matter. If you mean he's trustworthy and he's honest, he does his work properly, that's permissible. If you mean you rely on him and the result is 100% always, then that is when minor shirk seeps into it.